Hey, welcome to another sort check video. In today's video, I have some updated crafter sorters behind me, because as always, an update broke them because, whatever, I'm not going to get into it. Mojang do what they do, we can't solve it, all we can do is provide solutions to their problems. And this is my solution. Literally, every single one of my previous sorters, apart from the item avoiders, is broken in the recent updates. Because they did something with like dropper update order or something, I'm not entirely sure. All I know is it broke because it could craft an item and put a new item in the same game tick. Like, that shouldn't be possible, but oh well, it is. Anyway, enough of my rambling. Let me show you the new sorters. So, the first one I'm going to show you is an actually new item I figured out you can sort, which is written books. Now, okay, look, this one's useless. I mean, you could argue they're all useless, but this one really is because there's so many better ways to sort this, and this has so many minor problems, it's practically not even worth using. The first one being quite a stupid one, actually. It can't sort copies of a copy of a book. So, hang on, if I just grab one of these, because that should be in there. As you can see, it doesn't produce our duplicated output that we want, whereas with a normal book, it will. So there's just some written books it can't even sort, so that's fun. But if I was to throw this and our random non-stackable, you'll see that our non-stackable gets buffered in there because of the way I had to do this differently from all the others. And obviously in the barrel down here, we have our outputted books. It's worth mentioning that yes, this does output 2 books because of the way the copy thing works. And that's why we have a pot here, because we still need to read signal strength 2 out of here. Because the way these new sorters work is timing based. So this torch will turn off at the exact time that comparator should turn on. So if it does, then there's no signal because this is overwriting it. And obviously it needs to unlock the hopper down there. So that's why it needs signal strength 2. But it needs to get removed in 8 game ticks, which is obviously 2 items. So that's why we have the hopper cart down there. However, there's an output of 1x hopper speed here. So this can sort for 2 seconds of different books constantly coming through, or 32 seconds of the same book. Now do note that is purely only books coming through, but oh well. It's the most ridiculous sorter I've ever seen. It uses non-stackables to sort them. It's so just not worth it. On to what I'm calling the colour sorter, which if you'll notice, the sign got copied over from this one, but oh well. This can sort anything that can be re-dyed, so wool, shulker boxes, or beds, or whatever else there might be, I'm not quite sure. Works very similar to all my others, we just have the second slot open. However, there's quite a cool thing here that I do want to discuss. Because we need signal strength 2 for all of these outputs, and we're usually working with non-stackables, so a dropper is fine. With this one, we need a crafter, because if we block one of the slots, it doesn't matter what stackable item comes through, it will always output 2, just because of the way the crafter works. And I've just realised that also needs to be over here, because of this is sorting regular items. So this one might fail when I test it in a minute, oh well. But anyway, let me show you this one working. So I'll throw in our items and our random non-stackable. This one's bufferless, so we get our non-stackable out. And in here, we have all 3 of our dyed items. I don't need to explain much here, it's practically the same sorter. It just sorts non-waxed copper. Yeah, so as you can see, this one failed because it didn't sort the thing correctly, but oh well. This one sorts maps. And again, my word, I'm so bad at this. This also would need a crafter. It's just I copied the same one over and over again. So there's a chance this one also fails, to be honest, but we'll see. No, we actually got quite lucky on that one. So there we go, we have our 2 maps. And our shield sorter, this one does need a dropper luckily. So as you can see, it didn't output our thing. That's because World Edit was being weird. Yeah, I paste these with World Edit, so sometimes the items get put in the thing. But as we can see, there we go, it gets sorted. That's just a World Edit problem. If you even begin to question reliability with these, over here, I've been testing them a lot. And when I say a lot, let me show you something. So I've tested 1.2 million items and it's never run into a problem. So anyone that says this is unreliable, you are genuinely using it wrong. 1.2 million items is completely unnecessary. It took like a few hours to sort, obviously. But I did it just to prove a point that this thing is reliable. The only reason they failed over there is because of my own mistakes. These will all be archived on, obviously, the Auto-Crafting archive. Had a mess up there. And I'll obviously fix the crafter stuff here. I do want to also just throw on the screen the test results for these sorters, which I'll throw up now. That took a few hours to make too, but oh well. It includes quite a lot of information actually. If you want to see that more in detail, I do recommend, again, it's on the Bedrock Auto-Crafting archive, but I do recommend taking a look at it because it reveals quite a lot of useful information about how you can and can't use it, how it was tested. Obviously in this case it was in a ticking area with 12 sorters and sorting 1.2 million items. Over here we can see the old sorters that just don't work anymore, which is so sad. These were so good. But as we can see, we have red dye in here. But what will happen is if I get a bed and I throw it in the input, you'll see it will. So it sorted the bed, which got spat out. But what will also happen is in this dropper we have dye, and I can't show it, it's incredibly hard to show. But what happened was it got inputted, but the dye also got inputted in the same game tick and would have been spat out here. But I think something here actually worked that one time, but trust me, it doesn't all the time. Like my bed sorter here, it's completely broken, so if I was to throw this bed in, it might not work with just one, it might. Yeah, no it didn't. So if I just take all these beds out, and I was to throw them in there, just to show my point, as we can see it starts outputting dye, because if I can actually show it, we can see that it sometimes inputs a dye when it shouldn't, so that's really sad. I was working on so many things with these sorters and that's how I figured it out. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling and let you go. But that's pretty much everything I have to say. Obviously structures for all these will be archived and all that. And I'll see you next time.